Hi friends, today I'm creating my very first look with the DANESSA MYRICKS LIGHTWORK Volume 6, my very first time to play with MultiChromes. And this is what I created. So if you'd like to see how I created this look, just keep on watching. We're getting into it now. Warning, here comes a jump scare. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being with me here today for this video, which I'm really excited about. I'm so excited that I've already got my hair pulled back even. I am ready to jump in. So today we are going to be playing, me. Okay, I mean, you're here with me, but I'm the one playing with it. So just humor me, okay? We are going to be playing with my new DANESSA MYRICKS LIGHTWORK Volume 6 palette. This is my very first DANESSA MYRICKS purchase. I do have the little like balm that I have come to appreciate, which I'm not wearing today. And that would explain why I don't like the way my foundation looks today. But I forgot to put it on just because I was in a hurry to get this onto my eyes. And so, yeah, I forgot. Plus it was really early when I did my base. But anyhow, so I am coffee chats with Michelle, sipping my coffee and starting to wake up. And I decided that I am geared up and mentally ready to take on this eyeshadow palette. So if you want to watch me play with my very first multi-chrome palette ever, I mean, like I've had a couple of super soft DuoChromes from Natasha Denona, which kind of like, I would say, which kind of like, let me put this down. I've had a couple of those like super soft multi-chrome shades from Natasha Denona, and some of them with a slight bit more punchiness to them, but I've never like intentionally purchased, I've never intentionally purchased a multi-chromatic palette or eyeshadow before. And so this is my first one here. Oh God. How did I think I was gonna skip this palette? I had no intention of purchasing this palette, which is, again, is because I'm not really into multi-chromes. I've never really like experienced them, and I don't really know how I feel about the shift in shades on my eyeball when someone's looking at me. So today I am going to see how I feel about it for the first time, really. And I'm gonna play with my very first DANESSA MYRICKS eyeshadow palette ever in my life. I can't believe that I'm actually gonna dig into this palette. This has been sitting here unopened in my stash for 2 weeks now. By this time, the Sephora sale is on now, and I could have saved myself $25 on this palette. But I had intended to use it before the sale began so that I could give you my opinion as to whether or not I thought it would be worth purchasing it during the sale. So anyways, all right, I am getting my eye base and I'm ready to get started. By this point, it's not a new palette so much anymore. It's been out maybe for like a month already. I don't know. I mean, it's still new, but not in YouTube standards. Anyway, I've had this palette sitting in my stash for about 2 weeks, and I have been too intimidated to use it. So today I am going to hop into it and see what this palette is all about. I almost grabbed the palette to prime my eyes. Okay, I'm so excited that I just can't even with it, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and just get my eyes primed and see what I can do with this eyeshadow palette. I'm pretty excited. That was my Shih Tzu trying to breathe. I feel like one side has a lot more primer than the other, and I want them to be even though I have too much on one side. So I just want the way the eyeshadow goes on to be even on both sides. Yeah, so if you don't blend out your eye base perfectly and get a very, very soft, smooth, even layer across of it, across of your eye, Why did I have two prepositions? That's not correct English. I've been watching way too many YouTubers who don't know how to speak correctly. Okay, no shade to them, but I'm just saying I don't need to lose my vocabulary level just because other people don't know. But okay, so you need to get a very smooth layer across your eye so that you don't get a patchy application of eyeshadow. Even the most high-end eyeshadow palette in the world will go on patchy if your eye base isn't perfectly nice and flat, which is why I will usually go back in right before I'm gonna actually start, since I like to chat a lot while my eye base is giving it a moment to set, which is why I usually go in and just smooth it out one last time before I get started. So, okay, I am feeling rather intimidated by this palette. That's why I haven't opened it up and why I had no intention of purchasing it and why I've never purchased a DANESSA MYRICKS palette in the past. Or played with any MultiChromes in the past. Okay, keep in mind that even though I have been doing my own makeup on myself, oh God, like playfully, I started at the age of 4, okay? But I've literally been playing with makeup since the age of 4 and wearing it like more often than not since the age of 12. So I've been playing with makeup for over 30 years and well over 30 years. And I feel very comfortable and confident in my ability to do that, except for 25 of the years that I have been doing my own makeup, I didn't play with eyeshadow. So I really got into playing with eyeshadow and learning how to play with colors and stuff like that once the hit. So once everybody was locked down in 2020 is when I started taking the time to play with and experiment with eyeshadow. Prior to that, I was a very neutral girly. I had one palette that I would use only full of neutrals, and I would pan it completely before I would purchase another palette. And that palette was the Tartelette in Bloom. And so I did very one and done looks. I've only been playing with eyeshadow now, I would say 4 years now. So it's kind of funny that it took me 4 years. It's kind of funny that it took me 4 years to try a multi-chrome palette, but a lot of that is also because I have very sensitive eyes and I'm afraid of whether or not they're gonna work for me. But that's why I need to go ahead and try this very expensive palette right now. And if it irritates my eyes or whatever, then I am going to return it because I'm not keeping a $125 palette plus nearly 10% tax on it if I can't use it. You feel me? Okay, so I have no idea how to use this palette. I did pull out, oh my God, you scared me. It's not Halloween anymore, so you can't make me scream into the camera. I only allowed that for spooky season. I did pull out some matte palettes in case I feel the need to use them, but I really want to just try to challenge myself and use this palette all by itself, even though maybe DANESSA MYRICKS, the creator, intended for it to be a companion palette with, like, say, her matte palettes that she has on the market. All that being said, I'm just going to use this all by itself. And I know that most people have kind of stuck to each color story, which is fine and lovely, no shade, but I'm gonna just hop around and play with whatever my little heart desires and hope that it turns out all right. So let me get you zoomed in and we'll get started with the look. All right, I guess I'm gonna start off with this really beautiful, like, purpley shade. Let me give you a close-up of what the palette looks like. I'm sure you've seen it before, and honestly, I've seen it in a lot of videos, and the videos and photographs do it no justice. You have got to see this thing in person. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this really beautiful purple shade here. I can't believe I just touched the palette. Oh my God. And I'm using a really, really dense brush, one that I usually love to put in my crease for a really bold payoff. So that might have been a mistake, but this is how I like to do my makeup. So, you know, just watch and enjoy. It's not like a follow me and do as I do kind of thing. That's just, I mean, unless you want to. This is just how I like it. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to not go up too high because there is a lot of shimmer. I'm going to try to keep it right in the crease. Kind of spoke a little bit too long and my base isn't tacky anymore. Wow, that's dark. Yeah, I guess I am going to put it in the crease, just like I said I wasn't going to, but that's what this brush does for me, and that's how I usually use it. So keep in mind, I have very almond-shaped eyes, so the way that eyeshadows go onto my eye look very different from how they might look on you. I have not only almond-shaped eyes, but they're pretty small. I have like a small face, kind of small features, except for like my cheeks are really big. My forehead is up for debate. Okay, here we go. And like the hood, the little hood that I have of my eyes is different from one side to the next because I sleep on one side of my face as opposed to the other. So yeah, all of these things are going to play into how the look comes out. But for me, that's just part of what I've got to work with for how I do my makeup, you know? Everybody's face shape is a little bit different. So, you know, you really just want to experiment with how you want to put things on your own eye as opposed to following exactly what somebody else does. Okay, so here, I can't see it in the bright light. Sorry about that. It just looks like a nice blue, and I guess it's kind of like a satiny shade so that it blends out nicely, but all right, there's that. I'm gonna use, ooh. I really have no idea what to do. I've never been more stumped on what on earth to touch ever in my life. I'm gonna do a really colorful look here, just for the fun of it. I'm gonna go into this aqua shade next. I wonder if I should use glitter glue. I really just want to see how the shadows perform on their own with just a regular eye base. So I'm not going to use glitter glue. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this here on the outer edge of the eye. Oh my God, look at how beautiful that color is. What is that? Hold on, what is that even shifting to? I'm going to do it on half of the eye. So, oh my God, look at that. So that I can see more of the actual shade. Wow, that's really pretty. I feel like it's just like a little bit of a golden shift, maybe. Greeny gold. Look, sorry that I'm not looking into the camera and talking to you directly. It's just I have this palette down here so that I don't drop it because I would be devastated. It is a very, very cloudy day, so there's no like brightness. Texas is heading into what I expect to be some sort of North Carolina attempt on jacking with the weather over here. I don't want to get into it too much because most people think I'm, you know, clueless about what I'm talking about or just don't believe me, but it's true. Like, so anyways, we're going to have like a big flooding event, rain over the next week, training rain. I'm hoping that everything's going to be fine, but we're at the start of it now. And so it's like been a little over 24 hours of it coming through Texas so far. All right, I don't know how that's turning out, but I'm gonna now take a smaller shader and go into that same purple shade that's up in my crease. And I'm gonna put that here on the outer corner now that I've got my other shade there. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Yeah, I also wanted to see if I have like any kind of an allergic reaction, or if there's any kind of like fading that happens with the palette or anything like that, because normally I will have a headache or something like that right away, or eye irritation from some makeup. Now I'm just blending this edge out with a clean brush because I don't know that I'm going to do anything else on that top edge. So I just wanted to kind of look nice and blended. Wow, that's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Yes, anyways, I hope I don't start to get a headache or anything like that, because if that's the case, then I'll probably have to return this palette, which would make me so sad because it is so beautiful. But that's one of the reasons why I just don't get indie palettes, because I usually have some sort of an allergic reaction to one or several of the ingredients. And I'm not a chemist, so I have no idea what the freak it is that I'm reacting to, since there's like such a multitude of crossover ingredients from one palette to the next that it's hard to narrow it down for somebody who's just a regular person. Okay, so for those of you that I've heard make specific videos talking about, I hate when people dress a palette because they have a reaction to it. Girl, get over yourself, okay? We each have our own experiences. Anyhow, so yeah, because of that, I don't buy indie palettes, because if I spend high dollar, which they're like in the price range of Natasha Denona kind of palettes, you know, and if I'm spending money like that, even when I'm spending half the kind of money like that, I like performative makeup. I want makeup that performs. I don't want stuff that's going to be creasing or irritating me or falling off or fading away, or, you know, crappy mattes but good shimmers, or crappy, you know, crappy shimmers too, or, you know, they just like poof off your eye within 2 hours or anything like that. Like, I want my makeup to perform for the money that I spend on it, so I don't mess with indie palettes in general. And so because this is at Sephora, I know that it is going to be a good performing palette, and now I just need to worry about whether or not I'm going to have an actual reaction to it. So that's, you know, what I'm here to test out. Okay, so for the inner part of the eye, what I'm going to play with next is, I feel like this really fiery peachy shade is calling my name, but I had originally intended to do, which one? This one right here. And yeah, it looks like it does have an orange shift, so I'm going to do that one. And again, I'm not spraying my brush or anything like that. I have not had any fallout. These seem to be sticking to my dry eye base really nicely, and I'm not having, oh my God, look at that. I'm not having any kind of issue with them. That is stunning. Whoa. So there is that eye right there. It's my first look for the top lid. Let me get this other eyelid caught up, and we'll figure out what on earth I'm gonna put on the lower lash line to go with this, because I have no idea. Wow, look at that. Okay, I forgot to do the actual inner corner eye like I did over there. Kind of just blend it up a little bit. Wow. Okay, I do though, I know I shouldn't. I'm not gonna use my finger. I'm gonna use a little spongy tip brush that I have here with that shade, because I wanna see if I can make it perform even better with like a special applicator and not oh yeah. It's more of like a finger application, which does intensify the color completely. Wow, look at that. But I feel like that did give me a little bit of fallout, and probably because I didn't even tap off. Yeah, that got into my eyelashes, and I feel like a little bit sparkled into my eye, which is quite unfortunate, and what I was hoping to not have happen at all. Should have had my eyes closed. That was my bad. Okay, so I do kind of like the way that looks. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay, for the lower lash line, this right here, this really dark purple there for the back half, and I'm just going to use the side edge of this little shader thing. Oh my god, apparently that's really soft, and I like dipped into it a lot. Let's just see what happens. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow, okay. It's a very soft shade. Okay, I like to take my lower lash line on the inner area a little bit more straight out so that I can kind of like take away a little bit of my super pointy look on the inner area, because it's just like the back end of an almond, you know, and so I just like for it to look a little bit more open there instead of closing up. For the front part of the eye right there, I really want something bright and fiery, but well, no, I don't want it to distract too much from the upper little like golden peach thing. So what I'm going to use is just a little hint of this like iridescent bright shade here. The one that's above the one that I have on the back half of the lid. And I'm going to just pop that right down here. Oh my God, it's blue. It's not white at all. So that threw my look off, but whoa, it didn't make it look bad. It just threw me off from what I was expecting. I do really, really love that shade. Whoa. That's even better than the one from Pat McGrath in the Subliminal palette. And these shades are super soft. Like I've already got a little dip dent in there from where I touched this really gently. So don't go in hard to these shades because they're soft. Wow, look at that. Okay, well, I'm gonna call that look done and pretty amazing. Okay, I'm gonna take a little liner brush and go into that same dark purple from the lower lash line and try to just make a little bit of a winged liner up here from it. Oh yeah, there, look at that. Wow. That is exactly what I was hoping for from this palette for that area right there. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of blending on the lower lash line. What am I gonna use? Just gonna blend out the lower lash line with nothing on this brush. I'm just softening up that bottom edge of the purple here so it doesn't look so freshly placed. And that is the finished eyeshadow look. Let me give you a good look at the eyes, just the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to pop off and add some finishing touches, and I'll be right back to show you the completed look. This is the final look with the DANESSA MYRICKS palette for my very first time to play with this eyeshadow palette and to ever play with a multi-chrome palette of any kind. If you'd like to see which of these lipsticks I'm wearing to finish out this look, be sure to check that video down below. I'll have that link down in the description box for you, as well as at the end of this video for your convenience if you're curious. But let me give you a close-up of the eyes. Hopefully you're able to see some of these shifts. Let me just like move my head around because I have no idea what it is that you can and cannot see from there. Also, let me turn off this light here. Let's see if that is more helpful, as well as I'm going to quickly just turn this down, but it makes like a high-pitched sound, which is why I can't turn it down in general. Hopefully you can appreciate the vibe of the eye look, but that's going to do it for my very first time to play with the DANESSA MYRICKS eyeshadow palette. I will say I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a headache, but it might also just be that I'm hungry, so I'm about to eat, and if my headache goes away, then I'm going to chalk it up to not having a reaction to the palette and try to create another look with it and test it out again. But if it doesn't go away after I eat, or I get a headache the second time that I play with it, this palette might have to go back. So be sure to stay tuned to my channel for updates on how this palette works for me specifically if you're curious, especially if you too suffer from sensitive eyes or sensitive skin, and you're looking for reviews from people that have that kind of issue as well, which that's me. I have very, very sensitive skin and very, very, very sensitive eyes. So fingers crossed that I can wear this eye look all day without it bothering me in any way. Be sure to look down below in the description box for a pinned comment from me for my end of day results and my final first impressions for this first look with the palette. Make sure you leave a comment down below to let me know what your experience is with this palette, if you have it as well, or what you think of the look that I created for my very first time to play with MultiChromes and a multi-chrome palette. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know what you would do. Let me know if you would do anything differently. And yeah, I look forward to reading your comments down below. So that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It is absolutely free to subscribe to me. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.